This is a Mysore Pak that is thirsty for tuppa. More tuppa. Inu beku tuppa. That's why it's called the tuppada Mysore Pak. The texture of that Mysore Pak that you taste in your mouth is quite fulsome. It fills your mouth with the flavor of the Mysore Pak and also the beautiful flavor of the gram flour.
This is since my grandfather time.
Oh, you can see, of course, this Tale Patre has seen thousands of batches of the dumrot being prepared in that. Hi folks, this is Kripalamana Gourmet on the Road and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. On Gourmet on the Road, we love our Mysore Pak, rather the Mysore Paka. And we've covered most of the popular Mysore Pak. We've covered the Mysore Pak at Guru Sweets in Mysuru, which is where the Mysore Pak was supposedly invented. We've covered other Mysore Pak in Mysuru. We've covered the Janardhan Hotel Mysore Pak in Ramnagar. Closer home, we've covered the Chikkaballapur Sweets Mysore Pak in Vijaypura. But the one Mysore Pak that we haven't covered yet is the much loved Mysore Pak at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall here in Balepet, Bengaluru. And that's where we are headed this morning to taste a Mysore Pak that has a legacy of over 100 years. And in addition to the Mysore Pak, we will also taste one or two other very popular sweets here at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall. Namaskara.
Namaste sir, how are you sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good sir.
You are Raghu.
Yes sir, I'm Raghu and he is my father, Mr. Nagraj.
Namaskara sir.
My brother Srinath
Namaskara.
and my nephew Akash, his son sir. First.
He is the fourth generation.
He is the fourth generation.
Yes.
So it was your father who began.
Yeah. 100 years.
Agide.
100 years.
Agide.
So you have a century old tradition of making the Mysore Paka.
Yes sir.
But ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಪ್ಪದ Mysore Pak, the ghee Mysore Pak is what you call it.
Yes sir.
So we have done many Mysore Paks in different parts of Karnataka. And every once in a while, when I would look at those videos, I would see the comments. People would say, "You Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall, Balepet Mysore Paks are try ಮಾಡಬೇಕು."
Yes sir.
And that's the reason why we are here today. So ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
The quality of raw materials, what is being used and what my grandparents used to procure. ಅದೇ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿನೇ ನಾವು ಇದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಘೀ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಟ್ ಆವಾಗ ಒಂದು 20-25 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಘೀ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಸೊ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫುಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಘೀ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯೂರ್ and we give the boiling melting to the ghee manufacturer.
Oh, so they make that ghee according to your specifications.
Yes.
Our specification.
Including the gram dal what we use in that. We tell them this is the moisture content should stay irbeku, not more than that and all that.
The gram dal.
Yes. And we do our milling also, we do it ourselves.
Milling you do. So you're assured that it's 100% pure gram flour that you are using.
Because what we promise our customers minimum 1 month guarantee without refrigeration in room temperature.
So ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಫಾದರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ಥರ ವಿಚಾರ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಸರ್?
ಸರ್ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾದರ್ ಅವರು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಅವರು ಅಟ್ ದ ಏಜ್ ಆಫ್ 16 years he entered into this business.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅವರು
he had a sweet tooth. ಸ್ವೀಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
ಅವರೇ ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು
ಇನ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕಬಳ್ಳಾಪುರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಚಿಕ್ಕಬಳ್ಳಾಪುರ.
This tuppad Mysore Pak he invented.
The tuppad Mysore Pak. Mr. VA Venkatachalapathy Setty in Chikkaballapur.
Yes.
Over 100 years ago. Okay, so ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು 1952 ನಲ್ಲಿ
1952.
Father came to Bangalore.
So Bengaluru nalli you have nearly a 70-year tradition.
Yes.
And ಅದರ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು 30 ವರ್ಷ ಇದೆ. 35 ವರ್ಷ. So when you're savoring a Mysore Pak, a tuppada Mysore Pak at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall, it's a Mysore Pak that has a legacy of over a century. ಇದು ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಕಿಚನ್ ಇಂದ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಕೂಲ್ ಡೌನ್. 5 hours ಬೇಕು. 5 hours ಬೇಕು. ಮಾತ್ರ 5 hours ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಪ್ ವಿಂಡೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? 20 minutes, half an hour max. So out here there's no time for the Mysore Pak once it emerges out of the kitchen in that tray to actually rest, allow itself to solidify so that it can be carved out into pieces. Out here customers are happy asking for the Mysore Pak to be scooped out, busy. There is a joy to eating a Mysore Pak when it's slightly warm. I can see all that tuppa glistening on top of that Mysore Pak, and also a pool of that luscious ghee sitting in the bottom of the tray. And we also make dumrot, sir.
Dumrot.
Dumrot is a sweet made of hash gourd.
Boodh kumblekaya.
Yeah, even that was invented by my grandfather.
The dumrot.
Yes, dumrot.
So even that is a sweet that goes back 100 years.
Yes, it's a long cooking process. It minimum takes about 10 hours to make.
10 hours.
Yes, sir.
Morning start ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ we'll get the dumrot.
Oh, so even ನಾನು 5 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೆ ಕಾಯಬೇಕಾ?
Today's preparation I'm telling you.
Today's preparation. Okay. So batch by batch ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ?
And it comes and it gets over immediately. And even that, the raw material, the kind of what kind of hash gourd, the big hash gourd, we look into that and we get it, sir.
Fantastic. So of course ingredients, the quality, the nature of ingredients have changed over the years, over the last century that they have been making the Mysore Pak and also the dumrot. So you've used science.
Yes, sir.
To ensure that you get the ingredients to your specifications to create the desired kind of tuppada Mysore Pak and the dumrot. So how did you look at an ash gourd and said, okay, I want to make a sweet with this boodh kumblekaya?
We wanted to be grated and then make a halwa out of it. Okay, instead of making halwa with halwa, I mean, why don't we give a texture to it by adding dum, charcoal cooking. Yes. Plantain leaf, banana leaves, cover madi, it gets into a copper vessel. Then I mean, we used to give it dum and then put it on the. Now it's oven. The complete process takes about 10 hours.
10 hours to get that structure.
Yeah.
So what does dumrot mean? Dum means cooking in that.
Yes, sir. Giving it dum.
Okay.
Rot is this, the roasted part.
Okay, rot karitare.
Yes.
But how do you get this burnt edges on top? So is there any heat that you apply on top?
Yeah, on top and at the bottom.
So in the good old days, now of course you can do in the ovens. In the good old days, how would they do it?
They used to reverse the process.
On that note, let's take a look at the making of that Mysore Pak and also the preparation for that dumrot. So this is where the Mysore Pak is made. So paka aagta hai suru. So there's some water and some sugar.
Water and sugar. Each tray weighs about 14 to 15 kilos.
14 to 15 kilos. So how much sugar would go into that?
It's about 5 kilos.
5 kilos. Food color. So that's why your Mysore Pak has that vivid yellow sort of a color. And how much water would go in to melt that sugar?
About
1.5 2 liters. So ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅಳತೆ ಇದೆ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ ಸೇಮ್ ಅಳತೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? So have you had to make a change in that alte? Because 100 years the quality of everything was very different, Allah?
No, sir. It's the same.
Same. And that is the tuppa.
That's the ghee.
That's the ghee. So ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ghee. Then the sugar and then the gram flour. How many kilos of Mysore Pak do you make on an average?
So now since the lockdown, we're just making about 5 trays a day.
5 trays a day. So that's about 70-80 kilos.
Yeah.
Now I've seen in other places they use the machine.
ಮಿಷಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಅದು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್.
We can't identify.
So you know try ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಮತ್ತೆ you gave that back. So you came back to hand. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಏನು ಸರ್? ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 30 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವರು ಖಾರ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್.
ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾದರು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು.
ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 50 ವರ್ಷ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ?
I'm 69.
And so how many years have you been in this from the time that you were?
16 years.
So you've been in this field already 53 years. And how long have you been in the space? 22 years.
Me and my brother almost same.
22 years. If you look at the experience that goes into the making of that Mysore Pak and all the other sweets and savories here at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall, that's 53 years, 50 years, that's 103 years, then there's 40 years collectively here, 150 years almost, and another 30 years. So that's about 180 years of experience, of collective experience making these sweets. So this is now the gram flour. So at this point you have to constantly keep stirring, non-stop. So that's where the younger guard takes over. Now some tuppa is going to go into that paka. So slowly, solpa. I can smell the tuppa. ಈಗ ತುಪ್ಪದು ಘಮ ಪರಿಮಳ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. There's some more tuppa that's going in. So the full ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. That entire pail of tuppa is going to find its way into this paka to make that Mysore Pak. It gives you an idea how decadent this mithai is. When you take a piece of Mysore Pak in your hand, or when you look at it sitting in a tray, you don't realize the amount of tuppa that goes into it to give it that melt in the mouth sort of consistency. The sort that when you place it in your mouth, it should ideally dissolve just owing to the warmth of your mouth. And I think that's what makes that Mysore Pak. Copious amounts of ghee, and in this case about 7 kilos of ghee. 7 kilos of ghee, 5 kilo of sugar, and 2 kilos of the gram flour. So when it comes to cooking, there are two aspects. One is the ingredient, and the second is the technique. So therefore he has turned up the heat a wee bit as he is stirring that mix. Then after that paka is cooked to a certain extent, then you add the melted ghee, which is also slightly heated. So you want to make sure that the
temperature doesn't go down.
The temperature doesn't go down. There's so much that goes into the making of that Mysore Pak. So much of technique, so much of thinking, so much of understanding of how that paka behaves at different temperatures over the last 100 years that goes into making that kadai, that pot of Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Mysore Pak, the tuppada Mysore Pak. So now to make sure it doesn't get overcooked,
put
the room temperature ghee. So it's almost like calibrating that cooking process, right?
Yes.
And they're doing it all by sight. So even when the paka was ready, so I asked him, he did not touch it, nothing of that sort. He says, I know, when I look at it and when I hold it in the ladle, he knows exactly that the paka is now ready to meet the gram flour. And then the ghee too gets added stage by stage, either the ghee which is at room temperature or the melted ghee, depending on the heat that is required. Now Mr. Srinivas takes over. You know, every Mysore Pak or every legendary Mysore Pak has its own nuances.
Yes.
Right? And this is a Mysore Pak that is thirsty for tuppa. More tuppa. Inu beku tuppa. That's why it's called the tuppada Mysore Pak. The Mysore Pak now is a texture of fudge almost. It is also separating from the sides of the vessel. So that Mysore Pak is now ready to be poured into that tray. There's some cardamom powder that just went in. Oh, I can smell that gama parimala, that sweet aroma of the cardamom. Then Mysore Pak is now ready in the pot, and they say I should probably get a taste of the Mysore Pak right now, even before it goes into the tray. You know me, when I'm in the kitchen, I don't mind tasting, especially when it's something as luscious looking, as seductive as that tuppada Mysore Pak. Just because it's taken off the stove doesn't mean the process of cooking has stopped. That ghee inside is still molten hot. And that Mysore Pak is still cooking. So this Mysore Pak will go within 1 hour to the store, but typically if you would keep this Mysore Pak, it would still keep cooking. And therefore you would get various layers in that Mysore Pak. The deep roasted in the center because the heat is still there. And the top, which has been more exposed to the air, cools down faster. But of course out here at Sri Venkateshwara, they don't have the opportunity to do that, because the moment this goes to the store in about an hour or so, it will be sold out almost immediately. Busy there. In fact, even as I hold this to the paper plate, I can still feel the heat of that Mysore Pak. I like the texture of this Mysore Pak. This is a Mysore Pak ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡಲೇ ಕರಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, but beyond that you can feel the weight of the Mysore Pak. The texture of this Mysore Pak, and I've tasted quite a few Mysore Paks. Of course, as the Mysore Pak cools, it will also change. But the texture of that Mysore Pak that you taste in your mouth is quite fulsome. It fills your mouth with the flavor of the Mysore Pak and also the beautiful flavor of the gram flour, the roasted gram flour. You can see all that tuppa glistening away. That's the Bhutu Kumlakai.
Yeah, that's the ash gourd, sir.
The ash gourd. Those are giant specimens, huh?
Yes, a minimum of about 15 to 18 kgs.
15 to 18 kilos. So this is the
grated one, sir.
The grated one.
And
So it's grated, boiled,
and then the water.
and then drained of water. So this is the most important part of making the dumrot, of course.
Itale patre, sir.
Oh, this is the itale.
Itale patre.
So basically alloy.
Yeah.
And you make it in this only.
Yeah, we make it in this one.
So this is a vessel that probably comes back.
So this is since my grandfather time.
Oh,
And this is the new one.
the new one.
Yes.
You can see, of course, this itale patre has seen many batches, thousands of batches of the dumrot being prepared in that. So this is a kova. So basically the starting point for this pot is two of those giant Bhutu Kumlakai, each weighing about 15 kilos. 30 kilos of Kumlakai that have gone into it. Now some kova that's going in. 2.5 kilos of kova. So that's the sappe kova now that's been broken in. Sappe meaning no sugar. So that kova is now being mixed with the boiled ash gourd and with some fermented food color. Some grapes, raisins that have gone in, and some godambi, some cashew. Cardamom powder, amele sakre, 4.5 kilos of sugar that have gone. And some chiroti rave that's going in there, just to give it a bit of a texture. You know, I can smell the aroma of that cardamom, and I think the most important aspect, everybody knows ingredients, everybody perhaps knows the method to a certain extent, but I think getting the right quality, because that cardamom, the moment he opened that little packet of that cardamom pudi, that aroma of that cardamom has filled the room, and that's what you're really smelling. So I think the key in places like this is also the quality of the ingredients and the effort that it takes to source them. Plenty of ghee again. So I think out here at Sri Venkateshwara, when it comes to the Mysore Paka and the dumrot, you don't hold back on the ghee. They pour all their love, all their effort, and also all that tuppa into making those mithai. So he's breaking down that kova. The ash gourd, the kova, the sugar, and that ghee. He's bringing it all together to form that mixture for that dumrot. So he's basically ensuring that he doesn't have any lumps of the kova. So that kova is completely broken down into that mixture, because if you have a lump, the dumrot may get lumpy. Well, Raghu here is a very kind man. He wants to make sure that I'm tasting the dumrot even before it's baked, or at least the mix for that dumrot. The ash gourd is fibrous, and that's what you're crunching into. But then of course you have that sugar and that kova, the creamy richness of the kova that you're tasting through all that. So now this will bake.
5-6 hours.
5-6 hours. So earlier when you would cook this was cooked on a charcoal.
Charcoal stuff.
This was cooked on a charcoal stove. So you would cook it first at the bottom,
Yeah, and then again turn the...
Turn it, and you'd put a lid on it and then turn it. So what was a charcoal stove earlier has now transformed to an electric oven, and that too about 30 years old. Well, we can't hang around here for the next 4 to 5 hours, although I'd be very happy to have received this dumrot as soon as it gets off the oven. But we'll head down to the store where there will hopefully still be some of that dumrot for us to taste. Idan agtadele?
Motichur laddu.
Motichur laddu, arey wah. There's a murugu happening there. Champakali. Well, having watched the making of that Mysore Pak from start to finish, and also having safely placed that dumrot mix in that oven, I can't wait to savor that Mysore Pak and Dumrote at leisure. Well, we have two mithai here, which is the Mysore Pak and the Dumrote, of course. And just to make sure that as I transition from one mithai to the other, we also have some khara here, just to wipe off some of the sweetness of our palate before we dive into the next mithai. And I've been told that I should begin with that dumrot. We've just watched the dumrot go into the oven, and that's going to take about 4 to 6 hours before it's finally ready to come down to the mithai store here at Sri Venkateshwara, and before it can be sold to the customers. But this is the dumrot from the earlier batch. So when I walked into the store, I saw a little bit of dumrot still remaining in that patre. So I very quickly told them, I said, please keep some aside for me. And that's the dumrot that I'm about to savor now. And as I've learned from the family, dum is basically the act of cooking, and rot is the crust that the mithai forms on the top and the bottom as well. Anyway, enough talking, let's get to the eating. You can see strands of the ash gourd or the Budh Kumlakai. That's the only suggestion that this was an ash gourd at one point in time. That Budh Kumlakai, along with all the other ingredients, has cooked to an extent that it has near caramelized. Of course, there is sugar that's gone in, but I'm sure there's also some sugar that's inherently present in the ash gourd. And that too has concentrated in its flavors, and as it's baked in that oven, all the sugars have caramelized, and that's what you taste in the very first bite. I want to taste a bit of the crust just by itself. The rot of the dumrot. That's delicious. So what's interesting is the texture of this dessert. So you have this caramelized crust on top, and in the center, the texture is almost that of a halwa, is almost that of a gooey halwa. I bit into some cashew, some godambi, but that godambi too has softened into the weight of that ash gourd and also that khova. I bit into a cashew that was perhaps on the top of that itala patre. So that cashew is both sweet and also has a delicious crust. There's also a tinge of acidity that you taste in this dessert, and I'm told that's also a part of the natural flavor of the ash gourd. And I suspect because there's also some grapes that have gone in, some drakshe that have gone in, that drakshe also lends this particular dessert, this mithai, its sweet acidity. And of course, this is a mithai that's lush with the tuppa. Out here in Sri Venkateshwara, when it comes to their iconic desserts, their iconic mithai, whether it's the dumrot or the Mysore Paka, they don't hold back on the ghee. That's delicious. So as you're tasting the center of that dumrot, its texture is akin to that of a halwa that is soft and yielding, and lush, of course, with all that tuppa. But I think what makes each bite interesting is when you take some of that soft center and also a bit of the crusty top in a bite. That way you're tasting the rich sweetness of that center, of that halwa, and also a bit of that caramelized, slightly near burnt, for want of a better word, crust. You know, when it comes to halwas, I think the crust, the part where that dessert or that mithai is most exposed to heat, I think is always the tastiest. It has sweetness, of course, but the sweetness is a lot deeper in its intensity. It's near caramel and sometimes also near slightly burnt, but that to me is a very special flavor. I remember as a child when my mother used to cook some sweets, the patrinalli adi hidiyate. The part which is closest to the bottom, which is probably caked into a bit of a crust, that was the most sought after. That's what we would fight for. And out here in that dumrot, that top part, that rot is precisely that. This has to be perhaps one of the best dumrot that I've tasted. Delicious. If I didn't have this tuppada Mysore Pak to taste, I'm sure I would have paid serious thought to the prospect of getting another piece of that dumrot. That's rich in its flavors, in its texture, and I'm told the pumpkin is also nutritionally supposed to be very good for you. So if you want to savor your pumpkin or the Buddha Kumbhalakai in a delicious avatar, definitely try that dumrot. That dumrot at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall. Before I get to that Mysore Pak, I think let's taste some of that avre bele mixture. So this is the hitkada avre kaadu, which is basically the avre bele where the peel, the outer peel and also the husk is removed. This is tossed with some godambi. I can see some curry leaves here too. Just to get some khara in between the mithai. Khara andre sakkat khara ide. I can feel that red chili spice on my tongue. And also the flavor, the toasted flavor of the curry leaves. So the avre bele is slightly puffy in its bite. The peanuts of course have that nutty bite that they bring to the mix. But what you're definitely tasting is a khara from the red chili powder, and I'm sure there's some other spices too that go into it along with that curry leaf. And when that khara gets a little too much, I think that godambi comes to the rescue. I think when it comes to cashew, there's also a little bit of sweetness that's there in the cashew. And the sweetness of that cashew cuts through some of that khara. This is certainly the sort of khara, kainali hidre, TV norda. I think you can easily finish 100 grams of it in one sitting. Certainly something else to look out for when you're here at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall in Balepet. And one important thing, the original Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall is only in Balepet and in Malleshwaram. So if you want to taste the original Mysore Paka and the dumrot and all the khara, find your way here. I think on that note, let's get to that Mysore Paka, the tuppada Mysore Paka.
So this Mysore Pak, I mean, there's a way to eat this Mysore Pak. You just keep it or place it on your tongue and press it. Press them. And it melts. You should never bite this Mysore Pak. You'll be hurting them.
I'll be hurting that Mysore Pak. Fantastic. So Raghu here tells me, Mysore Pak bhai laake bite maar pede. Bite maadidre the Mysore Pak ki no agate. That's a new one. I haven't heard that before. And this Mysore Pak is warm. It's warm because it's come fresh from the kitchen. And as you can see, it's almost floating in a puddle of ghee or tuppa. The aroma of that roasted gram and the tuppa. And that cardamom. Because that cardamom powder, that top quality cardamom powder is sprinkled over the Mysore Pak. The moment it emerges off the flame, before it's poured into the tray, the aroma of the cardamom is something that you also savor in this tuppada Mysore Paka. As you place it in your mouth, karagi ho gata hai. The Mysore Paka gives up first all the lushness of the ghee, and then you're tasting the flavor of that roasted gram. I've tasted some of the top Mysore Pakas in this state, and I must say this certainly is a very special one on that. And I think what's interesting is that each Mysore Pak brings its own nuances, has its own style of making, has its own techniques that, for instance, this family has perfected over the last century. And I think that's what makes this Mysore Pak extremely special. When you place it in your mouth, that Mysore Pak grips hold of your palate. It forces you to acknowledge its presence in that tuppa and that roasted gram. All the ghee is trapped within that Mysore Pak. There's also a bit of heat that you're tasting in that Mysore Pak. I'm sure as you keep this Mysore Pak in that tray, that Mysore Pak is still going to continue to cook little by little. And I'm sure the flavors that you taste of a Mysore Pak, when it comes off the tray to perhaps 30 minutes or perhaps a couple of hours later, will be entirely different. And I think that's what's interesting about a Mysore Pak as well. But of course, out here at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat in Balepet, the demand for this mithai is so much that they barely get any time for that Mysore Paka to rest. My fingers are moist with all that tuppa. I'm going to refresh my palate with some of that khara mixture before I go for that last sliver of that Mysore Pak. Because even as I leave the store, that's the flavor that I want to carry on my palate. So this, I'm told, is a pure gram flour khara mixture. There's no rice flour in it at all. So there's some gram flour, there's some avlaki there somewhere, some peanuts too, and the ajwain, the oma, which is what you taste in that. And because it's gram flour, the texture is quite light. Some khara bundi too. And Raghu insists that I should taste the caramel bhujia. And we'll taste next the dry fruit caramel bhujia. And this, I'm told, is nothing but the dry fruit. Even the bhujia wrap that you see is the cashew paste and crusted with almond and some white chocolate. Definitely the caramel overtone, the caramel dry fruit bhujia after all this is. But what you're tasting mostly is the overpowering flavor and texture of the cashew paste. And then of course you're tasting the toasted nuts, the almonds in there. To me, that white chocolate has visual appeal, but I perhaps would have relished it without that white chocolate too. Well, I've tasted many a Mysore Pak on Gourmet on the Road. Those of you following the show know all the Mysore Pak that I've tasted. For some reason, we hadn't gotten to Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall here in Balepet yet, but I'm so glad that we finally arrived at this Mysore Pak institution that has been serving this city this delicious mithai for over a century. It's also heartening to see the commitment of the family, 4 generations of the family, to preserving a tradition, to preserving a way of life that first emerged 102 years ago. When we savor a piece of Mysore Pak, we relish it immensely and forget about it. Little do we pay attention or even think about the effort, about the commitment that it takes. From procuring the right ingredients, to the correct technique, to cooks who've been toiling over the stoves for over half a century. There's a lot that goes in to make that Mysore Paka and also that dumrot here at Sri Venkateshwara Sweetmeat Stall in Balepet very special. I hope you've enjoyed this deliciously sweet, mostly sweet episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay very, very safe, stay strong and happy eating. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!